My name is Daphne, and this is my social justice video reflection. This course has been about understanding the many ways that fairness, equity, and respect shape our work with children, communities, and families. It's about recognizing injustices, challenging stereotypes, and building environments where everyone feels valued and included. ECE 122 is relevant to our ECE profession because it teaches us that how we treat people, children, parents, and colleagues directly affects their sense of belonging and trust in us. As educators, we have a responsibility to not just teach academics, but also to model fairness, empathy, and respect. And that means questioning our own assumptions and ensuring that no one is excluded or treated differently because of race, culture, gender, or even age. For my reflection, I chose to focus on inclusiveness in the classroom and avoiding judgment or racism towards both children and also their families. This includes avoiding stereotypes about a child's abilities based on gender or background, not making assumptions about parents, and treating all colleagues with respect regardless of age or appearance. Before taking ECE 122, I knew that bias and stereotyping were wrong, but I didn't fully realize how often they can show up in a subtle ways in classroom. For example, I've seen and experienced moments where people make assumptions just because of their appearance, like thinking a young educator doesn't know what they're doing, or assuming a Filipino parent dropping off a child is a caregiver instead of the parent. I understood that these were hurtful, but I hadn't connected them deeply to systemic issues or professional practices. In this course, I learned that these judgments aren't just personal opinions, they're connected to social justice and equity. Bias, even if unintentional, can harm relationships, reduce trust, and create barriers for families. It also I also learned that social justice in ECE means actively working against those biases, making sure all children and families feel equally respected, and seeing each person as an individual instead of a stereotype. This also means reflecting on my own attitude so I don't bring unconscious bias into my work. This learning has changed my thinking because I now understand that inclusiveness isn't just about being nice. It's about actively removing the barriers that stop children or families from feeling welcome in the classroom. And I've realized as an educator, my role is to challenge stereotypes, stand up against unfair treatment, and be intentional in making sure every family is seen and heard and valued, no matter their race, their gender, their age, and even their culture. I also recognize that I need to be able to be aware of how I might be perceived and use those moments as teaching opportunities for others. Professionally, though, this means I will avoid making assumptions about families or children based on appearance, clothing, accent, or the way a parent interacts at drop off. I will take time to learn each child and family's story, and I will treat every colleague with the same respect, regardless of their age or how experienced they look. And I will also intentionally include diverse materials, books, food, activities in the classroom so children can see themselves positively represented. And this approach, I believe, will help a classroom community where children will feel safe, included, valued, and to be themselves, to express themselves, and their families too. their families to have trust in us, that they are respected. In short, ECE 122 really taught me that social justice in early childhood education starts with awareness but grows through daily action. By rejecting stereotypes, embracing diversity, and making sure every child and family feels included and valued. And so that is all for my reflection. And thank you so much for this wonderful course and for everything that I've learned from this course.